Το ταξίδι μας στις Βρυξέλλες συνεχίζεται και εμείς θα επισκεφθούμε έργα με έντονο περιβαλλοντικό αλλά και κοινωνικό αποτύπωμα. Πρώτη μας στάση, το Πανεπιστήμιο 𝐼, όπου μαθητές, οικογένειες και άτομα με ειδικές ανάγκες έχουν την ευκαιρία να απολαμβάνουν την κολύμβησή τους σε ανακαινισμένες, πλήρως βιώσιμες και ενεργειακά αποδοτικές κολυμβητικές εγκαταστάσεις.
On the technical part of the pool, it's like 12,000 square meters of swimming facilities, where we have a pool of 25 meters in length with 5 lanes and a smaller pool of 13 meters, but that one has a movable floor which can be put from 0 to 2 meters of depth, so we can organize different activities there.
Υπολογίζεται ότι κάθε χρόνο 130.000 κολυμβητές χρησιμοποιούν τις πισίνες για ψυχαγωγικά αλλά και θεραπευτικά προγράμματα.
We have like 50,000 individual swimmers who come and swim a year swimming lanes in a comfortable way during hours specific for them. We have like 28 schools using our pool. We have 10 swim schools which use the pool after school hours, and we have 9 clubs in the pool as well, with a very diverse type of swimming activities. So it's not always swimming. We have underwater hockey, we have synchro swimming, we have scuba diving. So there are different kind of activities in sports in aquatics, and we also have different kind of people who come and swim. For example, we have pregnant women who come and swim prenatal. When the children are born, we have postnatal swimming with the babies. We have people who are in revalidation after an injury who come and swim in the pool. We have naturalists, people who come and swim naked. We have specific other groups that come. So it's a very, in a big city like Brussels with a big mix of population, you can see that reflected in the use of our pool as well.
Με έναν έξυπνο και καινοτόμο σχεδιασμό, οι πισίνες προσαρμόζονται στις διαφορετικές ανάγκες των πολιτών, ενισχύοντας τη συμπεριληπτικότητα.
The small pool is a big basin where we have a movable floor. So the floor has a ponton which floats in the water, and we can put it on different kind of levels depending on which group is using the water. For example, if the mummies with their babies come and swim, we only put it at 35 centimeters. If we have small children in the swimming schools who come and swim, we put it at 65 to 89. But we also have aqua fitness in there. We put it on 1 meter, 1 meter 50, and we have the synchro swimming, and then we put it on 2 meters. It's done in a very quick way, and the way it works also is compared to the old ways to have a movable floor. These were, actually, it was with a scissor system to push the floor up to change the level of the bottom of the water. But now we use a different way. It's just with one pulley, and it's with a cable system. So we pull the floor down, and then when it needs to go up, we release the button and it goes up from itself. We need zero energy to do that. So also there we have a new system to make the pool adaptable to different kind of groups of users.
So what are the main characteristics of this sustainable building?
The characteristics are that we chose certain materials which are much more sustainable, like the wood we use for the roof. We have a green roof, so we put grass. It's also good for isolation, but at the same time it's used to collect rainwater, which we also use in our system. It's not getting lost. We have the heating of the air, which is done by co-generation. So it's also the most sustainable way with fossil gas to create energy, but it's the most efficient way, supposed to the experts, what the experts tell us. and that's the way we heat up the air. We're going to extract the air, but when we extract the air, we're going to take the heat out of it and give it back to the air that we pull in to refresh the air in the building. We have LED lighting, also an investment in using less energy to light up the building. We have in the water, we use ultrafiltration next to the classic sand filtering and pre-filtering system, and also ultraviolet is being used to kill the little bacteria in the water in the circuit of the cleaning of the water. And the most important investment is the combination of the salt electrolytes. So we don't use any classic chemicals anymore. We really use NaCl, classic salt like you have at home. And we have a system to split it up.
Με τη συγχρηματοδότηση του Ταμείου Πολιτικής Συνοχής, η πισίνα του Πανεπιστημίου υιοθέτησε τους πράσινους στόχους της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, συμβάλλοντας στη δημιουργία ενός πιο βιώσιμου αστικού περιβάλλοντος. Σε σύγκριση με μια παλιά πισίνα, η νέα εγκατάσταση χρησιμοποιεί 60% λιγότερη ενέργεια και εκπέμπει 500 τόνους διοξιδίου του άνθρακα λιγότερους ετησίως.
Based on the trias energetica, which is quite commonly used to save energy. And the first part means that you try to not use energy. So the building is almost passive, like the insulation in the outside walls are about 60 centimeters. And then the second part is we try to recuperate as much as possible. And the main recuperation part is the air handling units. Standard, you have a cross flow, so you can extract as much as heat from the air that you push outside normally. And in addition, we install the heat pump inside the air handling unit and to extract additional heat, which we put in the swimming pool. So basically, we're heating the swimming pool mainly with the air we're throwing out normally. And then the third part of the trias energetica is when you produce something, make it quite efficient. And that's when the cogeneration comes in, so we can produce as well as heat as electricity at the same time.
Πέραν της ενεργειακής απόδοσης, οι πισίνες καταναλώνουν 70% λιγότερο νερό από τη μέση δημόσια πισίνα.
The biggest gain is that we use less water than classic swimming pools. So we have 1 million liter of water in the two basins, and we're going to keep it circulating as long as possible.
We try to recuperate as much of the water as possible, and for that one we have installed a UFRO unit, that's an ultrafiltration reverse osmosis. And normally when you have a swimming pool, you have filters to clean the water. It's like the standard filters you have in a swimming pool at home. It's a sand filter. It goes through and you throw it away. Instead of throwing it away into the sewer, we collect it and we put it over the UFRO unit. And in this way we can recuperate about 70% of that water.
What this means for the community?
I think a lot. You need to know that running a swimming pool is an expensive business. And in Belgium, traditionally, the pools were built by the community. But communities have other priorities these days. And lots of those pools built in the 70s now are getting old and they need to be replaced by new ones. But the money isn't there. So this means that in Brussels and in Belgium in general, we have less and less swimming water available for schools, clubs and individual swimmers to go and swim. That's why we chose as a university to keep this social service and to invest in it in the next 20 years.
Η πισίνα έχει ένα τελείως διαφορετικό στοιχείο, αυτό του νερού.
Ναι. Υπήρχε ένας πολύ όμορφος τρόπος προς τη διαχείριση του νερού. Το πώς υπάρχει μια συνεχόμενη ροή στο χώρο στην πισίνα που στην ουσία δεν πετάσουν νερό στον πιο παλιό χρόνο της πισίνας. τότε ανακυκλώνεται συνεχόμενα, υπάρχει μια κυκλική ροή της θερμοκρασίας κλπ. Και μέσα από τη διαδρομή που περάσαμε σήμερα και τον τρόπο που είδαμε πώς λειτουργά όλο το σύστημα, μου έχει μείνει μια εικόνα που θα χρησιμοποιήσω στον τελικό μου σχεδιασμό.
Και πώς το βλέπεις τώρα, τι σκέφτεσαι για το έργο σου?
Σκέφτομαι ότι έχω κρατήσει πολύ έντονα τους ανθρώπους με τους οποίους συναντηθήκαμε, ο τρόπος με τον οποίο ο καθένας ξεχωριστά προσπαθούσε να μας εξηγήσει το αντικείμενο του και τη δραστηριότητα του στο χώρο του. Τα σχήματα, οι σχηματισμοί που είδαμε στους χώρους, είχαμε από λαβύριθο σε τριγωνομετρίες κλπ. Που σίγουρα θα το αξιοποιήσω στο τελικό μου σχέδιο για να συνδέσω όλο αυτό το στοιχείο μου.
Και είχαμε και χρώματα πολλά, έντονα και διαφορετικά.
Ναι, έχουμε φτάσει και σχεδόν στην τελική παλέτα του σχεδίου.
Και από το Πανεπιστήμιο 𝐼 μεταφερόμαστε στα προάστια των Βρυξελών και στο 𝐼, εκεί όπου ένας πρώην βιομηχανικός χώρος παίρνει ξανά ζωή αναβαθμίζοντας τη ζωή της κοινότητας.
In fact, it used to be an industrial place. According to the story of this area, because we are along the canal, it was an industrial place for bringing all the materials, industrial materials, into the center of Brussels. This place was used as a place to sell cars. The idea was to, and there is a very large commerce of cars in this area. The idea is to transform this commerce progressively to make so that other types of activities can come in. And to invite these new activities, you need to organize public spaces and to make so that the people love to come to the place and enjoy to come and work in this place.
Μετά από μια μακρά διαδικασία 8 ετών, το 𝐼 μεταμορφώθηκε σε ένα δημόσιο χώρο εκπαίδευσης, ψυχαγωγίας και κοινωνικής συνοχής.
So you have on that side, you have ateliers for refurbishing materials, woods, knitting, and also there are some social housing above this atelier that makes so that you have a mixity of population. You have large families, small studios, children, old people, and so we try to mix these people together to make sure that there are different type of population. There is a kindergarten, 72 places for children. It's quite a large one for this area, so it makes so also that the people around from further than the local area can come into this kindergarten. There will be also a school of circus that will be opened into the space so that there can be sports and circus activities into the space. And you see the idea is to try to bring different activities to stimulate other ideas.
Διατηρώντας το βιομηχανικό χαρακτήρα της περιοχής, το 𝐼 αξιοποίησε ανανεώσιμες πηγές ενέργειας, αλλά και ανακυκλώσιμα υλικά, δίνοντας ιδιαίτερη σημασία στον περιβαλλοντικό αντίκτυπο.
In fact, there was a great issues about how can we connect this space with the nature. And also the fact that we are along the canal, it's a water sport, and it should be cleaner than it is now. So the first idea that we had was to do something with the rainwater. So we keep the rainwater for the use of the building, for the crèche, for the kindergarten, for example, but also for an art intervention that we have in the hall. And all the water that we don't use inside of here, we pull it into the canal to make so it's some kind of a symbolic action on a very small scale
to say that the canal is a very important landscape area. We try to refurbish also the nature along the canal. You see, it's a small intervention, but it transforms progressively the area.
Η μεταμόρφωση ενός γκαράζ αυτοκινήτων σε έναν κοινωνικό πολυχώρο φιλοδοξεί να λειτουργήσει ως αναβάθμιση της ευρύτερης περιοχής, βελτιώνοντας αισθητά τη ζωή των πολιτών.
And the idea is to make so that it's some kind of acupuncture type of action into the city, so that when you make an action, it can create results around. For example, the building on the back there, it's a building that is used also for the car commerce. But the guy understood that if he transforms the upper floors into housing, he will receive a lot better budget and economical result than the cars. So you see, there will be a result, some kind of a result of this transformation of a public space into housing by the private, and that's quite interesting. That's the politic of Brussels, is to make an action on a place so that by the public authorities, so that the private people around have ideas of transforming their own activities.
So what about the next day? What is the goal of the ground hall?
In fact, we hope, cross your finger, we hope that there will be more and more as well social and artistic type of activities, like the concert I thought, but also economical activities. For example, the idea was to produce a small market by production by the habitants. Maybe every habitant maybe is an artist, and they can sell maybe their art project, or maybe they can have a small garden and say they can sell project. That's the idea, to provoke with the atelier on the site, provoke some different type of activities, commercial and because the idea is to make sure that the people can live in a better way by the artists and the culture and the sports activities, but also by economical activities.
Ο έντονος κοινωνικός και περιβαλλοντικός χαρακτήρας του έργου άνοιξε τον δρόμο της ευρωπαϊκής χρηματοδότησής του.
In which way European Union supported this project?
The total funding was 1.8, but a part of it was related to the soil pollution, because we are in an industrial territory, so the soil was unfortunately polluted, and that was a cost increasing, which was a bad news for the project. So we decided to give more money, to more grants to the municipality to develop its project. The reason of the project is the community link, and we also support the kindergarten, which is just next to here. So it was important for us to have a good view, a good understanding of what is the purpose of the project. The link between the inhabitants, the link between different places in the neighborhood.
Η τελευταία μας τοποθεσία στις Βρυξέλλες έχει πάρα πολύ έντονο το στοιχείο πάλι της κοινότητας σε μια τελείως διαφορετική περιοχή. Καμία σχέση με την υπόλοιπη πόλη. Και νομίζω ότι αυτό το βλέπεις και στα γκράφιτι, στους τοίχους, στον κόσμο.
Ναι, βασικά βλέπουμε και πάλι το στοιχείο της βοήθειας προς την κοινότητα σε μια υποβαθμισμένη περιοχή που οι άνθρωποι θέλουν με το project τους να βοηθήσουν την κοινότητα να έχει κάτι πιο δημιουργικό, πιο διαφορετικών μες στην καθημερινότητα τους.
Τι εντόπισες εσύ πιο συγκεκριμένα, τι ήταν αυτό που σου κέντρισε το ενδιαφέρον?
Μου κέρδισε το ενδιαφέρον το ότι έχουν στο στόχο τους να εντάξουν και την urban δραστηριότητα. Δηλαδή αναφέρθηκε σε skate park, σε parkour, που είναι κάτι πιο πρωτοποριακό θεωρώ και την ίδια ώρα και πολύ βοηθητικό στην κοινότητα, γιατί προσεγγίζει πολλά τους νεαρούς.
Οι Βρυξέλλες νομίζω ότι ήταν μια πόλη πιο κοντά στο δικό σου χαρακτήρα. Αυτή την εντύπωση μας έδωσες.
Ναι, μπορώ να πω ότι μου κέντρισε το ενδιαφέρον. Υπήρχαν πολλά στοιχεία που σύνδεσα με τη δραστηριότητα μου καθημερινώς και πολλά στοιχεία που πήρα για να εντάξω και στο σχέδιο μας στο τέλος.
Ένας οργανισμός κοινωνικής επιχειρηματικότητας. Ένα πρώην χρηματιστήριο που μετατράπηκε σε μουσείο μπύρας. Μια πρωτοποριακή πράσινη πισίνα και ένα έργο με σημαντικό κοινωνικό αποτύπωμα. Το ταξίδι μας στις Βρυξέλλες ήταν γεμάτο έμπνευση και η απόδειξη ότι η ζωή των Ευρωπαίων πολιτών βελτιώνεται με έναν πλήρως βιώσιμο και περιβαλλοντικά φιλικό τρόπο. Επιστρέφοντας στην Κύπρο, ο Χριστός έχει ήδη ξεκινήσει τις προετοιμασίες του για τη δημιουργία του γκράφιτι που πλέον θα κοσμεί την καρδιά της πρωτεύουσας.